What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well, and I am back. So it doesn't seem like I missed too much price action whatsoever, so we're going to quickly go through the big picture, some recent news and developments, and I hope you enjoy. So looking at the Bitcoin price chart on the weekly time frame, structurally, I believe another cycle occurs, and I hope it takes place this year. I am just awaiting for confirmation for Bitcoin's first major move into all-time highs. Not wicks, not tiny candle bodies above like 2017 crashing back down. I am waiting for that first major move into all-time highs like we saw the last two cycles. And structurally, for the Bitcoin price chart, we can see we did wick down to the 21-week EMA, so let me zoom in so we can see that being respected for support to some degree right there. And for me, for the big picture view, there are two EMAs that I'm paying attention to on the weekly and the monthly time frame. That is the 21-week exponential moving average and the 8-month exponential moving average. So looking at Bitcoin during the last two bull runs, when we saw that first major move into all-time highs, for absolute confirmation, we can see in 2017 along with December of 2020. 2017 used this 21-week EMA very well for support. It wasn't absolutely perfect, but we can see multiple confluences of either perfect wicks on this level or candle bodies holding this level for support. For last cycle in 2020, it wasn't as clean. It was a very different economic environment. We had interest rates near zero. There was tons of quantitative easing, a bunch of liquidity, and it was very different. It went up a lot, so I don't know if we're going to see a similar structure to a very quick blow-off top type of move, or if it's going to be a steady and slow climb. Now, an even looser representation, instead of being on the weekly time frame, is going to the monthly time frame and turning on the 8 EMA. So let's head to the monthly and just show you this. So this is an even bigger picture view respecting this orange moving average. So here on the monthly Bitcoin price chart on Bitstamp, I could probably go to the Bitcoin index as well. We can see just holding above this level during the bullish impulses, especially as we're curling up in 2017. So overall, when I'm looking at the monthly price chart, that's a level that I absolutely want to hold, specifically wicks. I don't want to see candle bodies go below that level. And today that level is right around 53,400, so right around there. And here we have the Bitcoin US dollar index with a lot more price history, just looking at the monthly time frame, with the monthly RSI coming up to 90, if not even a little higher, for multiple cycles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Bitcoin's monthly RSI or momentum is yet to near anywhere close to those levels of 90. We did go up. We went around to 76 or 77, but we're back below 70 today. And just zooming in a bit on the monthly time frame, so every single candle that we see is a 1-month period. And for an even bigger picture view, looking at past cycles when we got that first major move, these purple rectangles for Bitcoin into all-time highs for the past 3 cycles. Taking out their previous cycle top, so major move. We have a cycle top, major move, cycle top, major move, and we have the cycle top. So looking at the halvings with the purple circles, we have the election year in November of each of these years, the same year as the halvings, which is an interesting coincidence. We've historically seen decent price action. The 2019 and 2020 crash back into reaccumulation did recover as we got closer to the halving in May. So based off this, and not financial advice, I just want to explain my thoughts and why I don't see a major crash for Bitcoin down to 20K. I believe that we get a first major move to all-time highs. The Bitcoin halving has already taken place, and historically, even if it takes a little while, we do go higher as we get closer to elections. So right now, I'm just twiddling my thumbs, awaiting for Bitcoin's first major move for actual confirmation. And looking at Bitcoin in 2017, so we wicked into an all-time price right around here. We got some candle bodies above, but no major move, no fat weekly candle bodies. We crashed back down for a couple months before getting that first major move. Looking at today, Bitcoin created an all-time price around March 8th, so we've already been in this level for a similar period of time. We haven't seen that first major move into all-time highs, not just wicks and some candle bodies above, but that first major move, those weekly candles. So looking at the past, when the Bitcoin price chart was closer already at an all-time price, it didn't really hang about near all-time highs too long before getting that first major move. I would personally be surprised if we were in another 200 plus day range like we were back in 2023 right there. It doesn't make much sense to me because I've never seen that in the past, but the future can always be different. So that's another consideration I have, whether it takes 1 month or 6 months. And looking at Collins' bull run index here, including 9 different metrics, including the pi cycle. So I really like this for a big picture view. We're nowhere near dark red, and we're not even at a major move into all-time highs. Whereas the color green typically marks the cycle bottoms in 2011, we have 2015, we have 2018, along with even 2022. So today, we're still below our previous cycle top around 69K. I know we went up around 74,000, but we've yet to see that first major move. We're orange, almost a little yellowish. So really just comparing the colors to past cycles on where we could potentially be. Same thing with the pi cycle top indicator, essentially mapping the top of Bitcoin 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. So some of these past cycle tops were extremely accurate with the golden cross occurring for the pi cycle top indicator, besides basically 2021, but it still marked relatively close to the cycle top, around 63k versus 69k. So just looking at this, the golden cross is potentially forming, but we're nowhere near the pi cycle top. And still considering a bunch of the macro tokenization stats, the CAGR that we shared of enterprise blockchain, predictions from Brad Garlinghouse and Raoul Pal for a multi-trillion-dollar crypto asset class, potentially even this year, and even marking the cycle top to be significantly higher than where we're at today. And this past bear market has been different in structure versus previous cycles where we got more of a retracement. We have more assets or alts that really haven't done anything, sitting at lows or near lows, like Engine, Energy Web, even Ape, Atom, Aleph Zero, Casper, Curve. There's just a variety that really haven't done anything. XRP hanging about is nothing new. We know that HBAR, DOT, some of them have broken out of accumulation, somewhat breaking out past these previous highs around 10 cents and coming back down. And then we've had others like AVAX, Solana that have retraced a lot higher. Both AVAX and Link got up to the 382, and DOT and HBAR have yet to do that, coming up to the March-April 2022 high. And so for the most part, I am just awaiting Bitcoin's major move because this is historically when we see alts having the highest probability to play a game of catch-up, some of which have reached all-time highs and others are still sitting at their lows. I'm sure it seems silly to talk about Bitcoin dominance in the in-quotes alt season, but this is something we witnessed in the past. Is it going to be similar to last cycle, where Bitcoin dominance finds its top and crashes as Bitcoin creates higher highs, leading to alts pumping, or is it going to be a bit different? I am still considering the structure. Looking at the total value locked in DeFi with the stablecoin market cap, it climbed last cycle, we're still below the all-time highs. Even considering on Glassnode, looking at the aggregate or the total stablecoin supplies with the Bitcoin price. So this green line is USDT or Tether, its circulating supply, and below it we have the blue for USDC. So we've seen these historically climb in supply, and the red line is the aggregate of all these stablecoins climbing with Bitcoin's price. So I'm definitely watching the stablecoin supply as well. Historically, I know minting of USDT and things like that seems scary, but historically that leads to better volume and interest in crypto. And there is a correlation between the stablecoin supply increasing and the price of Bitcoin and a variety of assets increasing. Maybe that's just liquidity. And of course, I can look at past cycles and speculate if we're going to rhyme to a certain degree what could happen, but the future is uncertain. Absolutely anything can happen. I know there is tension in the Middle East. There could be any type of black swan at any point, so it's just good to remember that no matter how confident we are. There are Wells notices from the SEC, different concerns with Ethereum, but there's also positive catalysts that could take place at any time, such as the Ethereum ETF. So we can see the volume of the futures Ethereum ETFs available today, but we are waiting for the potential of a spot ETF for Ethereum. From huge groups that are wanting to be approved for an Ethereum spot ETF like VanEck, Grayscale, Fidelity, and BlackRock. And these deadlines are taking place this month in May, and BlackRock's is all the way in August. So could it be delayed? Could it happen sooner? We don't know. So for those of us retail investors in the crypto asset class, some of us believe the crypto asset class tokenization, even Kevin O'Leary saying that the crypto asset class will be the 12th sector of the S&P. We believe in it, we're waiting as long as it takes. But others may perceive the crypto asset class being nascent without clear regulatory guidelines being far too risky, and to each their own, we all have to make our own decisions. It's the Wild West, and this is a bigger tech shift than anything we've seen in Web 1 or Web 2. Some traditional investors might only consider having some exposure in Bitcoin, Ethereum assets in the top 10 and top 20. And those of us retail investors that experienced past bull runs, even witnessed 5, 10, 50x returns, or just watched assets over the long term do over a 100x, we're looking for the same thing to occur. And I know those of us that have had those returns, whether recently or a long time ago, we're not going anywhere. We know the potential. I'm not interested in bonds. I'm not interested in the S&P. I want exposure in the crypto asset class. Some people are all in and other people really prefer hard assets or something that's a lot more tangible, and that's fine. I am very heavy in crypto. Bear markets or just awaiting for major moves is boring, but I'm waiting. And the fact is, over the big picture, some of us are going to speculate correctly and some of us will be wrong, and we're going to find out. When I share good news or just positive information, I'm hyping it, and if I share negative concerns, I'm fudding it. I can't win, but I'm always just trying to share, and this is truly from my personal opinion, right or wrong. Now we had right here, and this was shared previously by Reuters, but this is more recent from last week by CNBC, Asia's first spot Bitcoin and Ether ETFs debut in Hong Kong. Now for perspective, in the United States with the SEC for the Bitcoin spot ETF, the SEC disapproved over 20 filings between 2018 to 2023. And then in January of 2024, like that, 11 spot ETFs were approved. And the United States has yet to approve an Ether or Ethereum ETF, specifically a spot ETF that requires real Ethereum to be backed by. So I do think this Hong Kong news is pretty big, becoming the first in Asia to offer retail investors the ability to trade crypto at spot prices. We can see the 3 Chinese firms right here. And the launch of these new ETFs puts Hong Kong one step ahead of Singapore, Dubai, other jurisdictions who are also trying to establish themselves as regulated hubs for digital assets. So we'll keep this video short and sweet today, guys. We're going to go over XRP, Casper, HBAR, and other assets in the next ones. I wanted to dive into Bitcoin because it's more important and applies to virtually every single asset in the altcoin market, specifically with where we're at in the cycle. Bitcoin dominance is in an interesting spot, and I'd love to be surprised, but the way I'm viewing the market right now is that we're waiting for Bitcoin's first major move. As Bitcoin is volatile, pumps, dumps, or even going down to the 8-month EMA, anything can happen. There are some assets that are up, some are at all-time lows. And structurally, for assets in accumulation at lows, they can go in either direction. Maybe on the 4-hour, you can be accurate with some wave counts, but we can still create a spring or create another all-time low while we're waiting. Once we get more price action to the upside or downside or breaking out of accumulation for confirmation, I'll cover more of those. So I probably won't be covering the Bitcoin price chart too much as we're waiting for price action to develop. We see a major move into all-time highs, I'll be covering it, and if I see us break structure versus past cycles, I'll cover it. So we're in the waiting game right now. It's boring for now, and I'll be covering more projects, specifically the fundamentals, looking at development activity, looking at any new applications and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm sure that not many people care, and that's completely fine, but I'll be doing more videos this month, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.